latest gaming entry in the Sword Art Online franchise, Echoes of Aincrad gives a brand new spin on the classic tale. Initially taking place during the fabled beta test, the game features a new cast of lovable characters as we follow them and their journey through the death game. It's honestly really interesting seeing them and their genuine excitement and love for the game fade into despair as they are trapped with no way out. Echoes of Aincrad's story opts to mostly ignore the original story characters in favor of showing us these brand new characters as they're interjected into key pivotal moments of the story. And as a longtime fan, I found myself really enjoying seeing the different perspective as we follow this new group. In this video, I'll be going over gameplay and some things I liked and some that I didn't. This is my review where I'll attempt to answer the question, is Echoes of Aincrad worth it? The short answer is yes, I do believe so, but stay tuned because I do have some caveats that we'll mention later in the video. Now, as I mentioned, one thing that makes this entry really special is that instead of just playing as Kirito for the 100th time, you are viewing these key story milestones from a completely different perspective with your own custom character. And the original cast is still present and integrated into the game organically. There are times where it'll pan to the side and you'll see Kirito is there, for example, and some other key things happen later on that I don't want to spoil. The game even has locations you'll find during exploration that expand on the overall lore of the series, which honestly I think is really cool, and so I enjoyed this new version of storytelling that they tried here, and I hope that they keep trying it. Something I thought was really interesting is that the game called Echoes of Aincrad with Sword Art Online being a smaller subtitle, and while the original characters can be seen in some promo material, it seems that instead they tried to opt to market the story as its own thing, and I would imagine this is so they could try to bring in some people that have never interacted with the series before. How did that land for you? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you entirely new to the series because of the game? If so, what do you think? And as I said, I enjoy this take on the events, but some of that is because I've seen it, read it, and played it so many times before. I was around watching the original anime airing, for example. I was playing games on the PlayStation Portable, and so naturally, I am going to enjoy this game. I found it very captivating. And while it's not all good, it's not like it's perfect, I enjoyed it. So the world of Sword Art Online is massive, and similarly, this game features big, beautiful landscapes. I think they did a tremendous job on the atmosphere in the game. But one thing a lot of early players are already concerned about is that the game currently only covers the first 2 floors of Sword Art Online. Will we ever see the full set of floors? I'm not sure how they do that personally, but I'll let you guys give me your ideas on how Bandai can tackle that enormous feat. Personally, the floor count wasn't as big of an issue as you'd think, because to be honest, the exploration can be quite tedious. Regardless, one big issue with the game is the restrictions. Like I said, the maps are big and visually beautiful, but they are completely empty. You can run for long periods of time without encounters, so you wind up spending most of your time just running through open fields until you hit a landmark town. Worse yet, let's say you want to do some sightseeing. The quest-based structure completely ruins any sense of exploration. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but if something is outside of your strict quest boundaries, you can't go there. Funny enough, your characters will literally look across a field and verbally say, "Oh, hey, look, there's an arc over there." But the game won't let you go over to it because it's not part of your active quest path. I think that's kind of weird, but I can understand why that is instated the way that it is. So ultimately, it really feels like this game really just wants you to stay on the beaten path. Also, what's up with swimming, or lack thereof? I assume the developers just ran out of time to code it in, because if you step even an inch off the shoreline into the water, you instantly drown. It's honestly really silly. And the fall deaths are there, and they're extremely inconsistent. For some reason, you can jump from decently high up and walk away completely fine, but if you step off a tiny ledge and technically fall, quote unquote, you instantly die. The only saving grace is that the game immediately resets you back to the edge where you fell, so no harm, no foul, I guess. I don't know, this feels almost like they threw this in to stop players from finding exploration shortcuts around mountains. Or maybe it's supposed to be an element of realism. I wouldn't know. Personally, I think it's silly to say the falling is realism, but the swimming isn't, right? And while I don't love running through endless fields, I actually really do like the dungeons. Every time you enter, the game generates a completely new map layout. It still suffers from the core emptiness that you would find, but at least changing up the environment breaks up the monotony, and you find some new monster types. Speaking of monsters, do not make them mad. Because while there's not a lot of them and there's not a lot of different types in general you will encounter, it's almost impossible to de-aggro them. They will literally chase you until the ends of the earth. you cannot run away from monsters, and it's honestly really funny. One way or another, you're gonna find yourself in combat. A quick tip on that is you can send out your party member to go ahead and fight them instead for you. Anyway, speaking of combat, the game does feature slow-paced combat and the focus system from Code Vein, and so as a result, the game can feel a bit sluggish at times, with everything revolving around your stamina. So if you dash too much, you're dead. If you attack too much without strategy, you're also dead. You can't just chain tons of flashy skills like in older titles, nor does it have that same tempo of games of the past. So if you're expecting that, you'll be disappointed. In all honesty, the game is more like a Souls game than it is like some of the previous entries. But here's the kicker, that's okay. I enjoyed it, and I found it pretty challenging because I'm more of a spammer myself, if I'm being honest. And so as a result, I had to learn a new way to play, especially since you have to beat most bosses 2 or 3 times. And on that topic, I really do love the visuals. When you're severing parts off monsters and they're running around without horns or heads, it's actually pretty cool. Speaking of the partner, I actually really like the controls between switching and free mode. And I think between those, there's a good amount of strategy you can apply, and you can have an ally take over if you do wind up needing a breather. There were times where I would do a switch just so I can go to the far end of a map and use an item or recover some stamina or change my item loadout. And I think that the concept of Switch is also really cool to play out as it's such a big part of the overall series. Another thing I thought that's pretty cool about the characters is that they're all pretty unique. And it's not just about their overall functionality and things that they can do, but some of the mechanics are pretty cool too. For example, Argo, fantastic ally for exploration because she allows for you to see where all the enemies and everything is on the map. Who's your favorite ally to take in? And why is it Iori just so you can use the heal? Stop being scared all the time and stop relying on that heal. Either way, remember this is us traversing literally through the first few floors of the entire story, so everything good and bad was an intentional design choice to match the lore accuracy of early low-level SAO gameplay where players didn't have high-tier stats or gear yet. But I can't help but wonder if for players new to the series tackling a brand new 2026 action RPG, the lack of standard features like magic or deep mechanical variety is going to act as a major turnoff for anyone who isn't already invested in the IP. Ultimately, Echoes of Aincrad feels like a game trying to appeal to a broader audience, almost treating it like a brand new IP to pull fresh players in. But because of some of the things we mentioned today, I surmise that it misses the mark for standard action RPG fans. In my opinion, the game is good. I really did enjoy it, but I would recommend that everyone wait for a sale. If you're a diehard fan of the series who wants to experience the death game from a fresh perspective, you will absolutely find enjoyment here. And with more content confirmed to be on the way, I'm sure the game will continue to get bigger and better. But if you're looking for a deep, open-world traditional RPG, you may want to skip this one. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video in which we're going to take some more deep dives. More on that soon.